I love mermaids and I love paintbrushes. What happens when you combine the two? You get Mermalicious brushes. Keep watching to see if they really are the most beautiful paintbrushes in all the land. I think they might be. Yeah. The Mermalicious brushes are based on beautiful, luxurious makeup brushes, but they're given a little twist so that they suit art makers perfectly. My thinking when I created these brushes was to have something that was particularly useful for the Making Faces collection. So they're great with pastels, but they're also wonderful to use with your watercolor media, like the new color sticks or aqua pastels. I particularly like to use the smallest of the Mermalicious brushes for watercolor. And they're fantastic for acrylic paint as well. I love creating messy backgrounds with the medium-sized Mermalicious brush. It's generous enough in size for me to be able to work quite quickly. The shape of it is a flat brush, but it does have a domed top, which gives it a really lovely brush stroke. Another one of my favorite uses for the Mermalicious brushes is with the wide paddle and using that to apply gesso. I like to start off with a slightly damp brush, so I just dip it in water, dab it off on a little bit of paper towel so that it's slightly damp. I don't want it sodden. And then I can spread my gesso out across the page. Now, the reason I like to sometimes create on a gessoed surface is if I'm using paper that's not really built for art purposes, which I'm doing very often, it can give it a little bit of strength. But I also like to put it on watercolor paper, and I'm working in one of my journals here. And that gesso surface is a lovely surface to work on. Acrylic paint loves working on a gessoed surface. That's really its primary use. But it's also nice to draw on. It's nice to put watercolor on. It does pastelify, is that a word? Or lighten things. But I do just like to work on a gessoed surface sometimes. And this brush makes it go down very, very smoothly, and it's actually very nice to use because of the shape of it, this paddle, which is a bit of a novelty in the makeup industry, but this style of paddle gives you a lot of control and it's fantastic for artists. I also love to stain that gesso. So in this case, I'm taking some of the paint from the Matchmaker set that's part of this collection, adding bit more gesso, a bit of that paint, and it will stain the page. So it's not just white. I've already got a start. I've already got a bit of a background. It's also going to help me match the other side of the journal page in this case, where I've just wiped my brush clean basically on the page next to it. So it will make those two pages connect. I do try and remember to even paint the corners. I don't want any little white gloved Mickey Mouse hands sort of waving hello at the sides of the page. I like to take the art all the way to the edges. And look at how much fun this paintbrush is. Why painting the gutter of two journal pages would be so exciting, I don't know. It just is with the Mermalicious brush. It's a nice experience. And can you see the lovely domed brush stroke that I'm getting in the middle of that page? I just think it looks so pretty. So if the gessoed background is making me this happy and feeling this pretty to me, how much more fun am I going to have as I start to add more, as I start to journal and draw and add more color? For me, using an inspirational art tool It's exciting and it just makes me want to create even more. Part of the reason that these brushes are just so nice to use is that they have got very dense, fine bristles. So it makes them very soft, it makes them pick up a lot of product and therefore deposit product and help you control that. So giving them a little extra TLC from time to time isn't a bad thing, especially if you're going to be using them with acrylics. Enter Brush Buff. This is like a shampoo and conditioner for your brushes. So you just add a little and then work it into the bristles. You can use the little silicone scrubber, or as I call it, the little brush spa, on either side of it, just to work that nice conditioner, that nice shampoo in there. You're gonna wash that paint right out of its hair. You're gonna wash that paint right out of its hair. And once you've loosened up any acrylic that's hanging around, you can just wash it out under the tap. When the water runs clear, you can give it a couple of flicks just to get any excess off. Dab it dry with a nice little piece of paper towel or on a tea towel. Reshape it if it needs to be, just smooth it down and let it dry. I hope that you get to enjoy all of the creative opportunities that these Mermalicious brushes have been designed to create. And if you'd like to share the artwork you create with them, why not join the Jane Davenport Mixed Media Facebook group?